So a member of our community wrote this yesterday. It's from Angelita. She says, they have a plan. It's called Trump's mood. And we all can use a little bit of humor these days. And I just wanted to say, guys, if you're watching this channel, you're not alone and you're not crazy. I can see it and you can see what's going on too. So let's just jump right in. I kind of want to explain what's going on with the Trumps and Musk world, and also how does the Korean case relate, because it's definitely related. So first, Trump was tweeting out yesterday also, the best definition of intelligence is the ability to predict the future. And Musk, retweeted, I saw this coming, to be honest. And actually, I don't disagree. Learn from the past, right? Be able to see things that are coming in the future. And you can kind of see where this is all going. But again, you're not alone. You're not crazy. We can see this stuff and you want to stop it if we're going in the wrong direction. It was just announced here, Harvard hit with $2.2 billion funding freeze after rejecting Trump's demands, right? We kind of saw that where that was going. I think there's $8 billion in funding on the line. It's actually quite a lot. And effectively, Trump and Musk are attacking our education system. On top of that, people's financial aid is in doubt. You can see here, college financial aid hit with glitches, delays due to federal staffing cuts. Remember, Musk is cutting the government, right? So things won't function properly. If this is going to happen to financial aid, imagine what will happen to Social Security or Medicaid, Medicare, these kind of things that you need. And I just want to make it really clear. And what they'll do, they'll say, "Oh, well, we're not purposely trying to cut anyone's aid. It's just we're understaffed, and we're trying to make things more efficient." I just want you guys to see what's going on. So this is what they're up to. Musk tweets out, they are rotten indeed. I don't know this Christopher one. DEI is a violation of Civil Rights Act is what they claim. DI is Civil Rights Action violation. And I was thinking about this too. When someone brought in the community, it's an important point. Whenever they just say DEI and not use the actual words, diversity, equity, and inclusion, it has a different meaning. So just think about this. If I say, hey, what do you think about including people? Do you think that's a good idea? What do you think about having things that are fair? What do you think is that a good idea, right? It has a different meaning than if you just use letters that kind of remove the meaning of what this stuff is, right? What do you think we utilize the full talents and diversity of our country? And part of what they're up to as well is gaslighting you and hanging out with dictators. So this is the Bukele guy who's claiming that he can't return the prisoner that they took wrongfully. This whole thing is so stressful. I'll just be honest, it's stressful, but I just important to talk about it. Important to know what's going on. They're punishing people who attack a Tesla, like 40 years in prison, I guess is what this Pam Bondi's saying. As if, attacking Tesla is the worst crime you could do in the whole world. That's sort of what they're going for. Again, they're trying to protect Elon. And Elon's strategy here is to sort of portray his companies and his business as being the most, world-changing technology and thing, and your lives are meaningless and only Elon's life matters. That's sort of what they're going for. So, for example, he did a bunch of this stuff today, but Elon's tweeting out, Elon Musk, the public wants Starfleet Academy. I think some very exciting things are possible. I'm pretty confident the public wants Starfleet Academy. How do we make Star Trek real, right? So if you believe in his fantasy that they're going to build this mythical city on Mars, then you should join his cult. And again, your life is meaningless and it doesn't matter, right? All the sacrifice of you doesn't matter because we're going for the greater good of building Starfleet Academy. That's their strategy. It's a cult. Right now, the Trump people, this just came out a couple hours ago, they're telling people in Europe, you have to choose, right? You're going to either use Elon Musk technology or you're going to choose Chinese technology. You can't do both. You got to choose, right? And so they're trying to basically divide the world. At the moment, though, people are more likely to choose China at the moment. It's just what's happening. I can see it. I told you guys this before that Xi was going to Vietnam for his first overseas trip, right? Going to Southeast Asia. Here's right there. They're signing all sorts of agreements. I heard different numbers on how many. It's like really a lot of agreements on cooperation. And from this perspective, historically, it's how can I say? Let's just say this: Vietnam historically, and many countries here in Asia have actually opposed China because China's, tried to exert more influence and countries want to maintain their independence. So this is actually counter to much of Vietnamese history to cooperate so closely. But this is, sort of where the world is right now, which I understand, right? If you have to choose, I guess, between China and USA, and USA is represented by Trump. The choice is kind of obvious, right? You can't trust Trump to anything that they say. They go back on their word all the time, and it's just weakening the USA. And I just really want to make it clear. I'm not saying that everyone, should bow down to China, but if you have to choose between Trump, right, who's completely unreliable, it's like that's why countries are doing this, and it makes me feel sad because, I wish the U.S. had a better leader. I'd be perfectly frank, right? And for those who don't understand, China has a lot of human rights issues. I can go through long laundry list of stuff, but that's really the main issue. So we're pushing towards more autocratic, either choice that the country would choose. They're not free in Vietnam either. So I also want to make that clear, because I do think human rights is an important issue for all of us in every country around the world. So yeah, they're making more cooperation. What it ends up being, and from Trump's point of view, they think Vietnam and China are out to screw them, which is kind of funny. The quote is from Trump: "I don't blame China. I don't blame Vietnam." Trump told reporters at the White House, "That's a lovely meeting like trying to figure out how do we screw the United States." That's a quote from Trump. But what I was going to say, though, is that how these issues play out is basically, if a company screws a customer, builds a faulty house and the house collapses, right, hurts people, or your car is faulty, right, and it hurts people, then you don't have any recourse to sue said company. And I mentioned the company situation because it relates to, say, what's happening in USA, to where, like, they're protecting Tesla at all costs. Figure out how can we give as many contracts to Tesla, or how can we give many contracts to Elon Musk's SpaceX, right? Do you guys see these connections here? So neither option is great at this moment in time between, say, choosing China or choosing the United States. Usually the U.S. would be the clear leader in this stuff, but with Trump, it's just we're in a completely vulnerable and horrible position because Trump is out to enrich himself, right? When it comes to Vietnam relations, he just wants to build golf courses there. So come kiss the ring, tell me how many golf courses and hotels I can build, and we'll make some sort of deal. That's why countries are just like, fine, I'm choosing Russia. It's not that hard to figure out. We have the same issue in Korea, actually. So generally speaking, for countries, say, like, for example, in Korea, where I am right now, you try to work with both sides if you can. But the USA is kind of sent with the example of Starlink and, Elon Musk companies trying to make you choose between one or the other. On top of that, and I kind of want to give you guys more of a positive spin and understand the connection between history and understanding today. There is an election happening here in Korea. I think it's probably, I want to say it's maybe about probably 2 months from now they're going to do it. What happened is we actually impeached our president, President Yoon. I made several videos about that. And at the moment, Yoon is actually up for criminal trial for the illegal coup. Basically, this is related to Korean history because Koreans have a different history than USA. The citizens are more apt to remove a president. This is the second president that we've impeached. I just want to make it clear, I'm a United States citizen, right? I just live in here in Korea because my wife is Korean. But I applaud any form of bringing people to justice, and you should absolutely, in my opinion, is guilty, go to prison, throw the key away, that kind of stuff. And made several videos about this topic. I know these videos are not popular on YouTube because people just want to focus on, a little neck of the woods. But I just want to say, guys, we're all connected, and a win for democracy here in Korea is a win for democracy everywhere. And the basic things that the Koreans will do throughout history, this is among the military regime kind of people like the Yoons, and before that Chun Do-hwan. And I recommended movies on this before, be it 12 the Day or 19/7, but they'll come up with bogus claims that you're working with the North Koreans, right? These are bogus claims, or you're in Yoon's case, you're all working with the Chinese, and then they'll try to throw you in prison and stuff like that. And that's basically what Trump and Musk are up to right now. is they'll accuse people, right, bogus claims. Musk will spread that out on his misinformation on social media, and then Trump will just send you off to El Salvador or something like that. So you can see their strategy, because like I said, I've seen it in the past, and this is why I make several videos on the topic, because I think it's an important discussion. And again, I actually agree with Trump in this regard, right? If you can predict the future, you're intelligent. And it is what it is. So I do want to hear your thoughts on this stuff. Want to just keep you updated. I do appreciate your time, and I catch you on the next video.